Good morning, I'm Stephanie Mead, and we're here at the Premier Pet Supply in Beverly Hills. We are joined this morning with Mike. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Stephanie.
So, beds to humans, very important just to get good sleep, but we also have beds for dogs and cats too.
Yes.
And you have such a wide variety here down this aisle, and I was feeling some of them a bit earlier. Some of them feel almost like Tempur-Pedic beds.
There are some that are like that. You know, there's some that have memory foam. There's some are like orthopedic, like you said. Like this one here, you can kind of feel like almost like an egg crate type of a feel. So for dogs that are a little older, you know, this is more comfortable for them, for their hips and for their joints.
For sure.
You know, they definitely can be a lot more comfortable in a bed like that, for sure.
And if you are looking for a bed, first of all, I have 3 different beds for Gigi. One of them is this down here, and I think personally it is very comfortable.
Sure.
For her, she doesn't like it just because there's too much going on. She has a lot of fur.
She's got thick fur,
so
for sure.
How do you decide what the best option is for your dog?
I think considering the type of coat that your dog has, if your dog is a dog that spreads out and like sprawls out or curls up. So if you have a dog that curls up, getting something like this, which is referred to as a cuddler, they come in many sizes. This is the tiniest, so great for a cat or a small dog, but they come up to 48 inches, so it would accommodate up to like a 100-pound dog very easily.
Okay.
Especially if they curl up, they're not going to use as much space. So something like that is great. You know, it has the side walls to it, and they can be really comfortable with that.
Sure.
It also acts as a bolster. Like a bed like this is a crate pad. What's nice, it's got thicker nylon, so dogs that like scratch and try to find their place.
Right.
But also the bolster around the sides of this is nice because dogs like to sometimes prop their head up. And then there's this flat crate pads like these as well. And there's even some that are even thinner.
Okay.
One of the things that I've had a lot of customers come in and talk about is that their dogs will chew the beds, especially puppies.
Okay.
And so what I recommend, and it sounds really silly, but it works and has recommended it for years, is when you bring the bed into the home, actually lay on it as if it were your own.
Okay.
Dogs will tend to respect your bed more than they would anything else. And if they have your scent on it and see that as something that you would lay on, they'd want to lay on it as well, and they won't chew it up. It seems to work time and time again. It's not a guaranteed foolproof plan, but it's definitely
so you're saying
helps.
If I don't cuddle up in that, she's going to be in there?
Well, these, right? These in particular, though, they're so cozy. I think people have asked if they make them big enough for themselves, right?
I mean, it is comfortable. I'll give you the final word when I try that back at home.
It sounds good.
But you do have a lot more options, too. And some of them are fur. You have Squishmallow ones, too. Which
yeah, there are some cute ones.
So
the kids absolutely love these. They're a huge hit in our stores, for sure. There's some that are a lot thicker and super heavy. I think it's also important to look for beds that you can take the cover off of and you can machine wash.
I was going to ask that because sometimes they will hold a little bit of a smell.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they need to be washed, too, just for your pet's health.
And those are really nice, but you want to make sure not to throw them in the dryer because they will they'll shrink and it'll be harder to pull over than the cushion. Carhartt even makes beds, which is pretty cool. These are really rough and rugged. We have a bunch of different Carhartt beds in our stores, so these are kind of a new addition the past year that have been fun.
Okay.
And we've got a lot of really great options, and we make it fun. It's something we pride ourselves in, is having like a lot of great options when it comes to everything, including beds. Yeah,
and it looks like you have a lot of colors too. And as people who want to keep feng shui in their house.
That's right. I forgot the most important thing is like when you're deciding to choose a bed, it's got to match and it's got to work. And we keep this is just like one aisle of 2 in this store. And
I know over the other aisle next to us has additional beds too. There's so many options out there, and I'm sure you have the same options, or if not more, in some other stores. And you have 13 locations across the city of Detroit.
Yeah, and people are more than welcome to bring their pets in and bring their dogs in and actually check the beds out and see for themselves if the dog is kind of into it or if it fits right.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning. If people do have questions, what's the best way to contact you, or what's the best way folks can maybe find the best option for their pet?
Sure, I appreciate that. They can get as much information as they need at premierpetsupply.com. They also can check us out on social media. We're on Instagram and on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
We always have tons of events and a lot of fun things, but you can also, can't get in the store, you can shop online, and we deliver same day for free.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So many good options here. We're going to toss it back to you guys in the studio.